Fantastic. Look at him. See, he's the hero. And but just before you come, I've spoken to some of your students from Milestone, and fantastic. And they were saying a good thing about you. What would you say about them? I know you're a boxer for a long time.
Yes. That's fine. It's actually really overwhelming to see so many young people from different areas and different backgrounds with different levels to the sport of boxing coming together and sharing the love, sharing the participation, working together. It creates harmony, creates unity, creates community cohesion. That we have young people from different areas coming together all for the sport of boxing. So boxing is an important tool which unites the communities together.
So how do you get young people involved then?
What we do as part of our work is we do a lot of outreach work, we do a lot of publicity, we meet a lot of young people, we do detached work. So we go to the young people, we ask them, look, what are your needs, what do you want? Boxing seems to be really famous because East End is famous for boxing, and it's a tool that's used to keep young people off the streets. Not really, it's to give them something. What young people need is a sense of belonging.
Do you think we'll see a Bengali champion in next year, a few years?
Yes, definitely. We are. Over my last 8 years in boxing, I've seen so many people in the sport of boxing being successful, and it's sort of picked up now in the Asian community, in the Bengali community. We have a lot more young people trying to participate in boxing and try and make it as well.
What difficulties do you find? I know I'm sure the funding is one of the problem or places. What kind of difficulties do you find?
As a youth kind of boxing trainer, most difficulties I face is lack of funding, a lack of support from bigger and larger organizations, and most importantly is a lack of support from parents and guardians. It's often perceived as something negative, whereas boxing is something positive. Not many parents want to support organization that caters for the needs of young people, such as boxing or martial arts, because they think it's as of a threat.
How can it be negative? When you see people are in the street, they're into drugs, they're into bad things, they're into gangs, they're into everything doing wrong. And you have boxing, they're disciplining people, and one hand, another thing is they are growing up. They have a future. So when people compares this, I don't see why people saying not to do it. I don't understand.
There's different variables. Boxing is often seen as fighting. It's not fighting. It's controlled aggression. It's a sport. Yeah, it's a formalities in place. There's procedures. Some things you can and cannot do in boxing, and people often misguide thinking for fighting. It's not fighting. It's a sport. Boxing is a sport. It's a competitive sport. So that's why it's often perceived as negative.
Okay. Can I just ask you if you want to say something to our audience, especially Bangladeshi, the brothers and sisters are watching now, and a lot of young people watching. I know there are a lot of young people who followed you in your channels and your WhatsApp, you name it.
Yeah.
You said about 2,000 followers you have. What would you say to them?
Just want to give a message out to all the young people out there that I humbly request you that you try boxing, because it gives you a sense of belonging, it gives you a sense of direction, it unites the hearts together. And I want to also reach out to all the parents out there that give your sons, give your daughters, whoever it is, give them to boxing, because it challenges them energy in a positive way. And our vision is to inspire a generation of young people to be proactive and leaders in our communities. So that's
fantastic. We have Councillor Mahbub Alam here, mashallah. He's a young man. He used to be similar to boxing. He used to do that. He will tell you. And I got him here because he loves to meet positive people, because a lot of negatives around. So I'm sure you can ask him something, we can help you. Mamun Bhai, if you could come